grown man on TV crying about a lie. This video is brought to you by TatumReport.com. TatumReport.com. Get the link in the description section. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. Make sure you hit the join tab. We can join the Tatum squad. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies. Kurt Herbstreit. I used to love him. All he used to talk about was football. College football. He talk about it. He give his analysis. I love hearing his voice. And now they got the joke on TV talking about social justice. I don't understand how low their ratings got to go before they realize people don't want to hear about this. All I want to hear about is football. If I wanted to hear about lies associated with social justice, I'll turn on CNN or MSDNC. I don't want to hear Kurt Herbstreit talking about football. And I definitely don't want to see him on there crying about a whole lie. Ladies and gentlemen, black people worried about walking down the street with a hoodie on, it's a lie. What community are you afraid in? The white community? Well, most black people live in America don't live in the white community. They live around other black people. So you afraid? Answer this to me. So a black man walking down in a black neighborhood with a hoodie on, who's judging you? There's only like 1 or 2 police officers per every 1,000 person in most of these major cities. And 2 police officers per 1,000 people is a large police department. Most of these police departments, especially after some of y'all want to defund the police, there's only going to be about 1 police officer per every 1,000 people in the population. And you're telling me a cop is just waiting for you to walk down the street with a hoodie on. Get real. But I want you to listen to what Kurt Herbstreit said, and I got to react to it. I have to say something about this because this is important not only to black folks who are watching this, but to white folks. Don't be this guy. Don't be this SJW. Stop harboring white guilt. Most of y'all had nothing to do with what's going on with black people. And in 2020, black people are responsible for 99.9% of what's going on with other black people. Get an education. Stop smashing and dashing. Take care of your kids. Those are things that you can do. They ain't got nothing to do with the government. Ain't got nothing to do with slavery. Anyway, let's watch this video with Kurt because I think it's important for y'all to see this. Because you can see how SJW culture has just brainwashed everybody, even including this guy. Roll the film.
Players have an opportunity to come together and this show, and Maria's given them that platform to be able to express how they feel. And I think it's great. I also think that if you're a white player in these locker rooms...
Right away. How do you not think that's racist? You are going to address based on race. You didn't say if you're a player that don't understand the struggle. You're saying if you're a white player. That's differentiating the black players from the white players. I played college football. We were in the locker room, white player, black player, none of that mattered. We were all on the same team. We all had the same struggle. We all lifted each other up. Now you want to divide. Go ahead, Kurt. Tell us more.
I think it's incumbent upon you to really help with the change. I saw Dylan Bowles there from Stanford involved. And I think, Trevor Lawrence at Clemson has been involved. I think it's one thing to have rallies.
Hold on. I'm gonna let him finish. Help with what change? Like, what do you expect the white players to do? Stand in front of the bullets from the police officers? What do you expect the white players to do? What are they gonna do? No, I know what you want them to do. You want them to shut up, and you want to let the black players just run everything. You want them to sit in the corner and waddle in their white guilt while black people just run amok in the locker room. You want the coaches to be subservient. You want everybody to be under the thumb of young 18 to 25-year-old black kids who don't know what direction that they're going, most of them. I was in college. I didn't know what I was doing. All you got to do is look at what they major in. They ain't worried about no school. They don't know where they going in life. All of them hoping to play in the NFL one day. Most of them. What are you expecting the white players to do, Kurt? I hope he tell us about it.
So it's one thing to skip a practice because of social injustice. It's one thing for the NBA and the NFL to miss games, to make a statement. Those things are great. But my question is, what's next? What does that lead to?
I agree with that.
Go back to practice the next day.
I agree with that.
What will lead to change? And I really think, I was talking to David Shaw, the head coach at Stanford, who really, he and I had a great talk. I love listening to his wisdom and his thought.
I'm going to let him finish. I know I got to keep interrupting, but I want you to hear this next thing that he says, because this is right when he start crying. You know what I'm saying? When he start getting soft, it's a marshmallow. But I want you to listen to him, because this is very crucial. This is one of those moments in which you begin to realize how brainwashed and out of control the narrative has become, and how this white guilt is destroying America. It's destroying America. Let him present to you the foolery.
And he shared a quote to me and reminded me from Benjamin Franklin. He said, justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. And I think that's what I mean when I think the black community is hurting. If you've listened, and the word empathy and compassion over these last 4 months, how do you
know the black community is hurting? Like, you're a white guy. You claiming that because you're white, you don't have access, or you don't have the responsibility or even the leverage to mention about black lives. So you're saying that you are just believing these black people, and when they tell you that they're oppressed, and what about the other black people? You know, you got these people saying black people are struggling and they doing all this stuff. You got people saying, no, that's not true. But you, as a white person that's impartial, you only decide, well, you claim you're impartial, you only decide to listen to the victim black people. The ones who are whining and complaining all the time. Not the ones who are saying, this is bullcrap, look at the stats. You only decide to listen to them and then try to play the impartial role.
Listen to these stories and not feel pain and not want to help. You know what I mean? It's like wearing a hoodie and putting your hands at 10 and 2.
Well, since when wearing a hoodie, putting your hands at 10 and 2 was exclusive to just black people? Let's do this. Name me how many black folks that have been shot that didn't have their hands at 10 and 2. That was just riding down the street being a normal black person. You can't name me anybody. Philando Castile was the only one that's even close to that. Every other black person wasn't at 10 and 2. They were 10 toes on the ground, running from a traffic stop, running with dope in their hand with a stolen gun. That's what they doing. They're not getting shot at 10 and 2. They're getting shot running from the police and resisting arrest. One person gets shot in the car and you crying about the black experience? You gotta be smoking crack to believe what Kurt Herbstreit is saying. Anyway.
Oh God, I better look out because I'm wearing Nike gear. Like what? What are we talking about?
No, what are you talking about, bro? Black people got to worry about wearing Nike gear? What? You talking about the athletes on the college football teams? What? Athletes on college football team get the most preferential treatment out of anybody at the university. How do you know, Brandon? Because I play college football. Your professors love you to death. They give you grades they probably shouldn't give you because they love you, because you're a football player. The women love you on campus. You go down the road, football players get treated way better than anybody else. I was a cop and we had to arrest we had interaction with football players. And our sergeants didn't even want to do nothing about it because they were football players. And we allowed their coach to come and diffuse the situation. Normal citizens wouldn't get that opportunity. But since you're a football player, people treat you at a higher esteem, especially if you're a star. Quit lying, Herb. Quit lying.
And so you can't relate to that if you're white, but you can listen and you can try to help because this is not okay. It's just not.
What a weenie, man. What a wimp. Bruh, there's many things you can cry about on television.
Right.
You crying over a lie? You crying over a fable? White people have... So think about this. If white people can't engage in discussion, if it's white people's fault, then how are white people going to help? I don't understand how their mathematical equation comes together. You telling white people, shut up, you can't talk because you're not black. Okay, and then you're telling white people, well, it's your fault because who else is perpetuating oppression in America other than the white man and white police officers? And then you're saying, white people, you need to help where you can. How do you not want to help? Well, bro, it's a lose-lose for white people in America. You can't help them because you don't know what you're doing. When you do help them, you're a racist. And then if you ain't a racist, you're a racist because you're not calling out stuff that ain't even racist. I'm gonna let him finish. He gonna keep crying.
And,
Bro, you better man up.
we gotta do better, man.
Who? Who gotta do better? Man
We
up.
gotta like lock arm in arm and be together in a football locker room. That stuff is gone. Those barriers are gone.
He's a beta.
You know? It just,
How's a grown man acting like this?
He's a beta.
How is a grown man this emotional about unverifiable realities? I played college football. I was in the locker room. Man, nobody was worried about this. Nobody was worried about this. 2000, I played from 05 to 2010. Nobody was worried about this. Nobody talking about racial injustice. Man,
He's a
we
beta.
were the most privileged people on campus. I can say that 100 times. Nobody was worried about that. If anything, the black players had more privilege than the white football players. If anything. Unless you were the quarterback. That's it. Everybody else, the white players get treated like they're not even on the team. Okay, I'll move on.
we gotta do better.
It's one of the things and why sports can be.
Anyway, he goes on to keep crying and acting like he's soft as a marshmallow. But I'm not trying to really rag on the man for crying. I'm ragging on the man because what he's crying about. America, we need to cut this out. Black people don't need handouts and don't need you crying and talking about it's so bad for black people in America. It's not true. It's not true. The black America that struggle the most are struggling because they're being led by policies like Democratic policies that put you in prison after you get 3 strikes, Democrat policies that put you on welfare and dehumanize you and put you in a position where the fathers are not coming home no more because they don't need the father. The women don't need the man. They marry the government. They don't need God. The government is their God. That's what's happening in these communities of color that is destroying the communities. It's not the racist white man somewhere in Alabama with a hoodie on in the middle of a cornfield somewhere. That's not what's happening. Police officers are not racist, by and large. If anything, they're the least racist people in this country. Why? Because they put their life on the line for everybody of every color, every creed.
That's right.
And don't even blink, bat an eye.
That's right.
And some of y'all know y'all racist black people, and you hate white people. That's why you keep pushing it in the face of people like Kirk Herbstreit, who's soft as a marshmallow, and ain't got no heart and no backbone. And I don't know if I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. Because I was about to say something about I don't know who wearing the pants in that relationship between him and his wife. I'm pretty sure he wearing the skirts, given the fact that he's so soft on television and crying about something stupid. But anyway, let me stop ranting about this. You can see the whole video on your own. Go watch it for yourself. You can see it played all the way through. But Kirk Herbstreit should be ashamed of himself, and every other black person that sat on this panel should be ashamed of themselves for even letting this white man look so stupid by crying about something that's so fake and not real. Anyway, like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notifications. Y'all know what it is. Visit TatumReport.com, TatumReport.com. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.
Now direct this at Vice President Biden.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
She appeared with Stephen Colbert, again, doing real hard-hitting interviews here with folks like Stephen Colbert.
And now, you guys seem to be pals.
Stephen Colbert asked her, you remember that time you were actually calling your running mate a racist who might have raped people? Remember that time? It was kind of awkward, right? You were out there and you were like, well, he might be a sexual harasser. Maybe a sexual assault. I don't know. Yeah. Remember that time that you were saying that he was going to prevent little girls like you from going to school? And Kamala Harris is like, she breaks into an awkward laugh. And then she admits full on that she's just a damned liar. So here's Stephen Colbert. And even Colbert was like, this is awkward because now you're basically just admitting that you're a horrible politician who lies a lot. Here was a very awkward moment the media will completely just forget 5 seconds from now.
And how do you go from being such a passionate opponent on such bedrock principles for you, and now you guys seem to be pals?
It was a debate.
Not everybody landed punches like you did, though.
It was a debate.
So you don't mean it?
It was a debate. The whole reason, literally, it was a debate. It was called a debate.
Slap on that Cesar Romero and go for it, man. It was a debate. So I was a damn liar. I was lying. Okay, some of us at the time said she was a damn liar. There were some of us at the time who said she's lying right now. She doesn't support forced busing. She's just going after Joe Biden. And people are like, no. There was a little girl living in the Berkeley area who almost couldn't go to an integrated school because of Joe Biden. She is sincere. She is authentic. She's experienced the lives of hardship of people of color in the United States because of people like Joe Biden. You remember that? Remember that time? And now here she is on Colbert being like, yeah, I just lie. I just lie. Isn't that kind of incredible? I mean, truly, isn't that kind of amazing? Like, she doesn't even have to come up with a plausible explanation on how she shifted from Biden, is he a rapist or a racist, to Biden is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I love him so much, and also, by the way, here's a cup of hemlock for you, Joe. Like, isn't it incredible how she went from Joe Biden is the worst person I've ever met to Joe Biden is the greatest, most wonderful, kindest human being I've ever met, Manchurian candidate style, remember? And then she openly admits that she was just lying because it was a debate. I mean, isn't that kind of unbelievable? How does she get away with that? How? How does she get away with, and you know the answer how she gets away with that, because the media do not give two damns. The same people who will sit there and call Donald Trump a liar day after day after day, and rightly call him out when he does something that is wrong, and sometimes not rightly call him out when he does something that isn't particularly wrong, they will sit there and pretend this never happened. They will pretend that it's okay for Joe Biden to hide in the basement and talk to Cardi B, but not journalists, and for Kamala Harris to go on national television and say openly that she is a damned liar. That in debate you're allowed to say anything, anything. It's absolutely incredible. So, you know, just worthy of note. When the media focus endlessly on the U.S. Postal Service and the scandal therein, a scandal that does not exist, and ignore the fact that Kamala Harris just outed herself as an open liar about her own running mate, just recognize that we are living in a universe where truth does not matter. The only thing that matters is the narrative, and we should all just continue to believe. Believe, listen, and believe. Joe Biden is a great candidate. He has not lost anything off his fastball, and Kamala Harris is authentic and wonderful and completely honest with you, the American people.